Sending a text for your business, it seems so simple, right? But what if I told you that simple little message is actually like trying to walk through a minefield? Seriously, there's this whole hidden world of rules and regulations that can stop your texts dead in their tracks. Okay, so let's dive into how you can navigate this thing and make sure your messages actually get where they're supposed to go.
So get this, a staggering 40%, 40, of all business text campaigns get rejected. That's almost half. They don't even get off the ground. So the big question is, why is this happening? And more importantly, how do you make sure you're in the other 60%, the ones that actually succeed? Let's figure it out. All right, welcome to the business texting minefield. To get through it in one piece, you've got to understand this really critical system that pretty much governs all business-to-customer texting in the US. It's called A2P 10DLC compliance, and honestly, understanding it is the key to everything. So what on earth is A2P 10DLC? Well, it's basically the system that lets businesses like yours send texts from a normal 10-digit phone number. But here's the catch. It is not a free-for-all. Not even close. Mobile carriers, we're talking Verizon, T-Mobile, AT&T, along with this central group called the Campaign Registry, they regulate it heavily. And if you think you can just ignore the rules, well, the cost of getting it wrong is just staggering. Under the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, or TCPA, just one single non-compliant text message can cost you up to $1,500. That's not per campaign, that's per message. The financial risk is just enormous. And believe me, it's not just about the fines. The carriers can just straight up block your messages. They can also throttle your speed. I mean, imagine going from sending 4,500 messages a minute down to a crawl at just 60 a minute. Or, if you keep messing up, they can suspend your service entirely. All of this just means lost revenue and huge delays for your business. It's a risk that can literally cripple you. Okay, so with stakes this high, you have to wonder, why are so many campaigns failing? Let's dig into the real root causes of why these messages get rejected so you can learn how to avoid them. And here it is. This is the heart of the problem. It's not like there's one simple rulebook to follow. Instead, businesses are tangled up in this complex web of different and sometimes conflicting requirements from all the different providers. It makes staying compliant feel like trying to hit a moving target. I mean, just look at this chart. It really shows you the chaos. Twilio, for example, they want a Trust Hub profile to vet your business. Okay, fine. But Bandwidth and RingCentral, they don't require that specific thing. Then you've got RingCentral asking for your W-9, but the others don't. See what I mean? You could be perfectly compliant with one provider and get flat out rejected by another. It's a total compliance nightmare. And you want to know the number one reason for rejection? It's not some super complex technical issue. It's simple clerical errors. If the legal name you register with doesn't perfectly, and I mean perfectly, match the name on your website or in public records, boom, an automated system flags it and rejects your campaign, just like that. Now, we all know content is king, right? Well, the wrong content can get you kicked out of the kingdom. All carriers strictly prohibit what's called shaft content. That's sex, hate, alcohol, firearms, and tobacco. But the forbidden list is actually a lot longer. We're talking about things like cannabis, cryptocurrency, and even debt relief. You send a message about one of those topics, and you're going to get filtered or shut down immediately. Okay, so that was a lot of doom and gloom. How do you actually avoid all these traps? The answer is to be proactive. I want you to think about it like a pilot before a flight. You have to run a full pre-flight check on everything before you even think about taking off. All right, here it is, your 4-step pre-flight check. Step 1, verify your identity. Make sure your legal name, your EIN, your DBA, your website, everything is perfectly consistent. Step 2, inspect your content. Check every single message for red flags. Step 3, predict your trajectory. You need to simulate your trust score, which we'll talk about in a sec. And finally, step 4, file your flight plan. This means picking the exact right use case for your campaign to avoid getting rejected. Okay, so that trust score, everything we just talked about, it all feeds into this score. The Campaign Registry calculates it, and it is your absolute key to success. It's based on how well you've verified your business, your brand's reputation, your messaging history, everything. Now, a score above 75, that's the golden ticket. You'll get automated approval, high message speeds, the whole shebang. Between 50 and 75, maybe you get through. But below 50, you are almost certainly headed for a long, painful manual review process. So what happens when you actually do all this? What's the real-world impact of doing a pre-flight check? Well, the results are pretty dramatic. I think they're going to change the way you think about business texting forever. I mean, just look at the difference here. Without this kind of diagnostic check, you're basically flying blind. You're looking at that 40% rejection rate and long delays. But with a data-driven pre-flight approach, your rejection rate plummets to under 10%, and you get approvals in just a few days, not weeks. It is literally the difference between reacting to problems and proactively preventing them.
And look, this isn't just about getting approved or saving yourself a headache. This is a smart financial decision. Being proactive about compliance isn't a cost, it's a massive source of savings. The numbers really speak for themselves here. If you try to build and manage all this compliance stuff in-house, you could be looking at a cost of over $250,000 over 3 years. Or you could use a specialized platform for around $30,000. The choice seems pretty clear, right? And the return on that investment? Honestly, it's kind of insane. Over 800% ROI, with the system paying for itself in just 4 months. This isn't just about avoiding some penalties. It's a strategic move that saves you an incredible amount of time, money, and engineering headaches. So, after all of that, the question really is simple. When it comes to your SMS program, are you cleared for takeoff, or are you just flying blind and hoping for the best? The choice is yours, but as we've just seen, making the right one can make all the difference in the world.